Amazing. Throw your life away in that quick of an instant. Because lack of self-control. I don't know this man. Might have been an outstanding employee. Say he was a store manager. But in a lot of situations he may possess that self-control, but it's those quick moments that can change your life together. 27-year-old Corey Pujols of Tampa, Florida. Dunkin' Donuts store manager. They have a customer, a 77-year-old white man. I believe it's a white man. They didn't even give the identity, or I probably didn't read close enough, but 77-year-old man has his order screwed up in the drive-through line, and he's angry about it and gets into a verbal altercation with the employees, which at some point he's speaking with this store manager, this young black man, 27 years old. I think I stated that already. And in the process, he calls him a racial slur, allegedly. This is according to the story. Calls him a racial slur, and the young man decides to punch him. Punch the 77-year-old, and the old man falls and hits his head on the concrete, on the ground. And it hospitalized him, and now he's died. It's come out that he's died. Now, initially, before he had passed away, the young man, Pujols, was arrested, and he bailed out on $200,000 bond. He's arrested for battery, right? But, like I said, it went on and he died, and so now it's being treated as a homicide, which more than likely he's going to have to serve time. He's going to do some time for this. His life has changed forever. Don't know nothing about the young man. Probably be an outstanding citizen. Hopefully they don't throw him away forever. But he's going to have to face the consequences of this. And this is what I've said over and over again. Letting words predict your future. There's a lot of history, a lot of pain behind those words, but it has to come to a point. Have to train our minds to a point it gets desensitized. If anything, the only thing you should be fighting about is injustice, economically, when it comes to your rights and defending yourself. Anything other than that is words. You can send words back. Now, in your job, I wouldn't advise that on the job, but it's a lot better. Losing your job is a lot better than serving 20 years or doing life in prison. There's a lot of things that could have taken place. Could have went through the process of having that man banned. Especially right now is a good time to make that happen. You got a lot of people who are allying with black people. And so they in turn have become sensitive to those things and they won't allow it to happen. You got to exhaust that, but to just go back and punch the man, it happens. It happens. I've fallen victim to him. And this probably a few years ago. It was about three or 4 years ago. I did it on the job. I had an outburst. Now it was something, and I've had altercations before that. Somebody's got their ass whooped saying the wrong thing, some saying something crazy. But I've taught myself over the years that I have to control myself. Can't let words throw you off your game, because if that's all it takes, you let that be your weakness, you're easy to be usurped. You're easy to be conquered. You have to minimize all weaknesses as possible. And that's a weakness, for you to have a trigger word. And so, even when I got into that altercation a few years ago, and it didn't get physical, but, I was punking the dude. It was on the job, at a warehouse job, and, knocking his stuff out his hand, knocking, his supplies out of his hand, stuff he need, and telling him to make a move, and he was shook. But, manager saw the outburst, and I had no excuses. I was simply wrong. Sorry about that. I was doing something. But I made no excuses. Made no excuses about it, because my actions, especially to what I agreed upon and was signed in the contract of the job, jobs have the ways that they move, and they have things that they permit, and that wasn't permitted. So I have to take responsibility for my role and my response to it, instead of making it known and just, simply bringing it to their attention. I took stuff into my hands. Now, I wasn't terminated, but I was given a warning, because they understood it. I lost my cool. When it comes to, people saying racial stuff or saying something crazy, I lost my cool, and it happens. But it's something that we got to get past. Something that we got to get past. Throw a slur back. Call a name. But to punch a person, you got to eat this. Now the man is dead. This is a possibility that can happen when you punching people. And this is bigger than him. Like I said, I don't know this man. I don't even know if he has an anger problem or anything. People that usually react like this, a lot of times it's not an anger problem. It's a very sensitive words, and it sets people off because of the history behind it. So that's where we got to start doing, seeking therapy, whether it's with something or within our own minds, and start seeking therapy for these things to strengthen these weaknesses. Because it can throw you off your game. Let's say, I don't know if the man has a family or not, but if he does, look, that affects his whole family off of one word. You're going to have a lot of people that are going to try to make excuses, and they're not going to agree with what I'm saying, but that doesn't change the outcome. That doesn't change the results. If you want the results that you want, if you want the positive results, there's certain steps that have to be taken. This is something that has to be learned. This is something that has to be learned. You can't just do what you want to do. And this happens in the community. A lot of people throwing their lives away off words. Not just race or anything, just words. We ain't like what somebody said, how somebody talked to us. End up killing somebody, or it escalates to that. Fighting. Instead of learning how to speak or learning how to just walk away. But we don't want to do that because we looked at as pussy if we walked away. And that's where the community comes into play. Well, a lot of us, we play into it, we contribute to the violence because we sit up there and we perpetuate it and call somebody soft because they don't want to engage in the bullshit. And so a person thinks they got to do something. They can't get looked at like that out here. And it's a lot of lives are being thrown away because of it. Families broken up. Huge consequences. Ultimate consequences. So this is something to learn from right here. Something to learn from. You know, that 77-year-old, he was wrong. And you know, people, these words we say, that comes with consequences. He paid with his life. But every action has a reaction too. He made the decision that he wanted to do. He lost his life, and now this young man is going to serve time behind bars because of homicide. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I will holler at y'all later. Stay cool. Keep your composure.